When managing a team, you don't expect everyone to be perfect, but you happen to have a few really bad apples on your team that make your work life absolutely miserable. They are gossipy, negative, spread false rumors, put other people down, and just de-energize the whole team with their presence. Also, you've learned about some of the things they talked about you to others, and even to your manager, that are either not true or totally misrepresented, making you feel frustrated, upset, hurt, and defeated. Now, if these toxic people are not your employees, but just your coworker, friend, or a family member, you have no problem cutting them off, or at least start to limit your exposure to them, because you know life is too short for you to be dealing with toxic people. However, it's totally different when these are your employees. You can't get away from them, and can't fire them because legally they have done nothing wrong. You can't ignore them either, because they are negatively affecting you and your other employees. But dealing with them has been very draining. In this video, we want to offer you some tips on managing these toxic employees without you being affected by them. First, let's take a look at the 7 characteristic traits of toxic employees. Number 1, they complain about everything. Number 2, they are defensive and have the need to always be right. Number 3, they are bitter, snarky, or passive-aggressive. Number 4, they don't want to share what they know. Number 5, they can't take feedback and always make excuses. Number 6, they gossip and spread false or harmful information. Number 7, they always have someone or something to blame. So, the first thing you need to know when dealing with toxic employees is not to take anything personally. As you can see from the 7 characteristic traits listed above, none of them is about you. As a manager, you are doing everyone a service by recognizing the toxic employees on your team and dealing with them in the most effective way. In order to do so, you can't let your emotion get the best of you, even though these employees are causing harm to your team, your career, and your mental health. We understand it might be easier said than done because your team, your career, and your mental health are things you really care about. How can you not take it personally when they are under attack? But that is exactly what you must not do when dealing with toxic employees, because hate will fuel hate and frustration will fuel frustration. You want your mind to be filled with love, kindness, compassion, and generosity. Why? Because regardless of how people treat you, you have a choice to respond in any way you want. If you want love, give love. If you want compassion, give compassion. If you want peace, give peace. You must give to receive. And you can't give what you don't have, especially when your mind is filled with hatred, hurt, frustration, and sadness. Of course, you don't have to pretend to be happy when you are not, but you do have a choice to respond consciously in a way that minimize risk and optimize your outcome. Before giving you the tips on how to actually deal with these toxic employees, we want to leave you with a quote by Lao Tzu, an ancient Chinese philosopher. Treat those who are good with goodness, and also treat those who are not good with goodness. Thus, goodness is attained. Be honest with those who are honest, and be also honest to those who are not honest. Thus, honesty is attained. Okay, now let's get to know how you actually deal with toxic employees. Here are 4 tips we have for you. Number 1, connect with their former managers. Connect with their former managers to see if they had the same experience as you do with these employees. If they do, ask what they have done to help with the situation, because you don't want to go down the rabbit hole of doing the same thing and expect different results. They might tell you they have done this and this, what seemed to work and what didn't, so you don't have to start brainstorming from scratch. If they do not have the same experience with these employees like you do, then you have to look within your own team to see what could have facilitated these toxic behaviors. Is it your team culture? Is there any incident you can think of that might trigger these employees to become toxic while being on your team? Or is there any unresolved negative feeling of hurt or frustration that they have experienced with you or any of your team member? Number 2, dig deeper. Dig deeper on the negative feelings these employees may have experienced because hurt people tend to hurt others. Were these employees been hurt in the past? If so, when, where, and how? Are these employees happy with their jobs? If not, what is the source of unhappiness? Are they struggling with their personal lives? Are there conflicts that you are unaware of that could cause frustration and pain to these employees? Don't jump to conclusion or make any assumption. Keep asking, discovering questions, and show lots of empathy, understanding, compassion, and kindness towards them. Remember, if you want love, you first have to give love. Number 3, offer help. When you find out more about what may cause pain, frustration, or unhappiness to the toxic employees, don't send them away to a helpline or alienate them, despite how overwhelmed you may feel. It will make matter worse. Once you have some ideas where the problems might be coming from, ask how you can help. You have to do this carefully, so you won't get entangled in their problems. Make sure you have your mind and emotion in check before you open up your resources to help them. If you have any advice to give, hold it off and keep asking discovering questions until your employees figure it out and feel like they reach the advices you want to give on their own. It will increase the chance of them actually taking the necessary steps to help themselves. Number 4, what if they don't want your help? You simply cannot help those who are not willing to receive help. If they don't want your help, you let them run their course and fail small, fail fast, and fail forward. As a manager, you obviously don't want to see any of your employees fail. However, even good employees make mistakes, and great managers allow them to. Remember, you are not here to judge or say, "I told you so," when they fail. You know it is just the process of maturing that everyone has to go through to get rid of beliefs or ideologies that no longer serve us and see life for what it is. So we're more willing to do what is right and what works, instead of only doing what we like and avoiding what we dislike. If you don't have any toxic employees on your team, but want to know how to deal with resistant employees, even when you are a new manager and may have less years of working experience than your resistant employees, then stay tuned for our next video on how to manage resistant employees even when you're new.